Imagine this scene. You're sitting at your desk on a Tuesday morning. The email just came through from HR. Promotion approved. Salary $92,000 annually. You read it 3 times to make sure it's real. For weeks, you've been imagining this moment. You told yourself, when I hit 90K, everything changes. The stress ends. I finally breathe. You take a screenshot. You almost send it to everyone you know, but you don't, because something feels off. You open your banking app. Your balance hasn't changed since this morning, and the same tightness you felt yesterday is still there in your chest. Same anxiety at 3 a.m. about money. Same feeling like you're never quite ahead. And the promotion hasn't even started yet. Why didn't it feel the way you thought it would? Sound familiar? My name is Adam, and I spend way too much time thinking about why more money doesn't feel like more freedom. I've talked to people making $90,000, $120,000, even $150,000 a year, and they quietly tell me the same thing. I thought this income would fix my stress. It didn't. I feel exactly the same. This isn't about people who can't budget. This is about you, someone who did what you were supposed to do and still doesn't feel rich. In this episode, we're going to unpack the psychological trap behind that feeling and what you can actually do about it. If this hits home, subscribe. This is episode 2 of the Reality Check series. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. 5 years ago, Adam is 24. First real job as a junior product manager making $68,000 a year. After taxes, about $4,500 a month hits his account. He finds a decent apartment for $1,400. Car payment, $280. Insurance, gas, food, utilities, around $800. Total, roughly $2,500 a month to exist. That leaves about $2,000 of breathing room. Not rich, but finally, some space. And he makes himself a promise. Once I hit $100,000 a year, everything changes. Once I get to 6 figures, I'll finally feel secure. I'll finally feel rich. So he grinds. He does the late nights, the extra projects, the go the extra mile stuff. $68,000 becomes $75,000, then $82,000, then $90,000. Year 5, $95,000. He should feel like a success story. Instead, when he looks at his accounts, it feels almost exactly the same. Same stress, different numbers. You might think, well, he probably just spent more. That's partly true, but the real trap is deeper than he spent too much. It's psychological. Here's what almost nobody tells you. We're sold a simple story. Make more money, hit the magic number, feel safe, feel free. But the data completely destroys that story. Stat 1. 52% of people making between $100,000 and $150,000 a year still live paycheck to paycheck. That's not 5%, not 15%. More than half of people in the exact income range you're aiming for are still stressed about the next paycheck. Stat 2. Even above $150,000 a year, about 1 in 5 people are still living paycheck to paycheck. These are 6-figure earners. You made it territory. And they still feel broke. If income alone fixed the feeling, that wouldn't be possible. The easy explanation is, well, they're just stupid with money. But if that were true, we wouldn't see the same pattern across so many smart, educated, hard-working people. So what's actually going on? It's not just a spending issue. It's a brain issue. And once you see it, everything about your own life starts making sense. Let's zoom back into Adam's life. Year 1 at $68,000. He's in a small 1-bedroom with thin walls and a view of the parking lot. The fridge hums a little too loud. The carpet isn't great, but the place is his. He can have friends over, go out on weekends, order takeout sometimes. He doesn't feel rich, but he's not panicking. Year 2, promotion, $75,000. An extra $400 to $550 a month hits his account. He thinks, this is it. I can finally upgrade a little. He moves to a nicer apartment, more light, a small balcony, slightly trendier neighborhood. Rent goes from $1,400 to $1,600. Just like that, half the raise is gone. For about 6 weeks, it feels amazing. New neighborhood smell, nicer lobby, better coffee shop downstairs. Then it becomes normal. Year 3, $82,000. He's now hanging out with slightly more senior coworkers. One of them gets a new car. His own car, a beat-up Honda, suddenly feels student. He tells himself, I'm a professional now. My car should match my career. He finances a used BMW. Payment, $320. Insurance goes up a bit. Another chunk of the raise disappears. Year 4, $90,000. He's hitting the numbers he used to dream about. But instead of feeling free, he feels behind. So he decides to start living like someone who makes $90K. He joins a nicer gym for $150 a month, starts getting $50 haircuts instead of $25, upgrades restaurants. Not crazy, just $20 meals instead of $12. A few hundred more, gone. Year 5, $95,000. He looks at his paycheck and thinks, at this income, I deserve a proper vacation. He takes a week-long trip that costs about $2,000, buys nicer clothes for work, better shoes, some brand name stuff. And when he finally sits down with a spreadsheet, the picture is brutal. Take-home went from $4,500 to about $6,200. Spending went from $2,500 to about $6,100. He's actually saving less at $95K than he was at $68K. More income, less security, more lifestyle, more dependence. This is where psychology explains everything. Back in 1978, psychologist Philip Brickman and his colleagues published a study with a wild title, Lottery Winners and Accident Victims. Is Happiness Relative? They compared 3 groups: people who won big lottery prizes, people who suffered life-changing accidents, regular people. You'd expect lottery winners to be way happier, right? They weren't. Within about a year, both groups, the winners and the accident survivors, returned to roughly the same baseline of happiness. The lottery didn't fix happiness. The accident didn't permanently destroy it. Your brain just adjusts. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. You get something amazing, you feel great for a while, then your brain quietly moves the goalposts. The new thing becomes normal, and you go back to your usual emotional baseline. This is exactly what happens with income. You tell yourself, once I make $70K, I'll feel safe. You hit $70K, your brain says, actually, maybe $90K. You hit $90K, your brain says, real security is more like $120K. Your expectations expand at almost the same speed as your income. That's the trap. More money doesn't automatically mean more happiness, because the target keeps moving. And when you mix this with lifestyle upgrades, you don't just fail to feel rich, you feel more trapped than before. Here's where everything changed for Adam. It wasn't during a raise, it was on a random Thursday night. He's sitting at his kitchen table in the nicer apartment. It's 11:07 p.m. Laptop open, blue light reflecting off a half-empty coffee mug. He's scrolling through an article about the hedonic treadmill. He reads about the lottery study. He reads about how people adapt to both good and bad events. He pauses, looks around his apartment. The balcony he was obsessed with when he moved in, he almost never uses it now. The BMW keys on the table, they feel ordinary. The fancy gym he joined, he's missed the last 3 weeks. And it hits him. Nothing is wrong with me. My brain is doing exactly what it's wired to do. It's resetting the feeling every time I upgrade. For the first time, his problem stops feeling like a personal failure. He realizes this is not just his pattern. This is a human pattern. And that shift from I'm broken to my brain is running a program creates a tiny bit of space. Enough space to ask a different question. If the treadmill never stops, what if I stop running on lifestyle and start running on wealth instead? Now that you understand the hedonic treadmill, let's put it into real life. Scenario 1. The promotion. You get a $15,000 raise, roughly $1,000 to $1,200 more per month after taxes. Your brain immediately offers a reward. New apartment time. You've earned it. You move somewhere $300 more per month. You buy a couple of new pieces of furniture, upgrade your internet, start ordering slightly nicer food. Result? First month, you feel amazing. By month 3, it feels normal. That raise that was supposed to change everything, you now need it just to maintain this new baseline. You didn't build wealth, You just bought a slightly nicer cage. Scenario 2, the car trap. You've tolerated your old paid-off car for years. Then your income goes up. That voice shows up again. You're a professional now. You shouldn't drive that. You trade the paid-off car for a $35,000 car. Payment, $400 a month. Insurance and maintenance bump that to about $500. First 2 weeks, you love it. You park further away to avoid scratches. You take the long way home. Week 6, it's just your car. But the $500 doesn't disappear. It leaves your account every month. For years. That's $6,000 a year you can't invest, can't use to buy back your time, can't use to build options. Again, you didn't buy freedom, you bought a nicer-looking obligation. Scenario 3, lifestyle creep. The silent killer. This one doesn't even feel like decisions. It's just little things. Coffee goes from $3 to $6. Restaurant choices shift up one tier. Streaming services from 1 to 3. Phone plan upgraded. Clothes, slightly nicer brands. Each choice is only $10 to $30, but over a year, they quietly eat almost the entire raise. And here's the dangerous part. When lifestyle equals identity, any step back feels like death. If you make $95,000 but live as if you make $93,000, losing that job is catastrophic. You're not just changing numbers on a spreadsheet, you're tearing down your identity. That's why so many high earners feel trapped. So how do you step off the treadmill without living like a monk? You don't need a complicated system. You need 3 rules. Rule 1. Freeze lifestyle for 1 raise. Pick an income level. Say your current one. Decide, for the next raise, I don't upgrade my lifestyle. I upgrade my wealth. That means same rent band, same car band, same normal restaurants. The next $1,000 to $1,500 a month doesn't touch your lifestyle. It goes to savings, investments, debt payoff. For Adam, income went from $68,000 to $95,000. By freezing lifestyle at the $68K level, he freed up about $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Year 1, around $20,000 invested. Year 3, about $60,000. That's what started to make him feel rich. Not the income, the cushion. Rule 2, 90-day delay on upgrades. When you get more income, don't upgrade anything for 90 days. No new car, no bigger apartment, no premium subscriptions. You let your brain adapt to seeing a bigger balance. After 90 days, the desperate itch to upgrade is lower. Then you decide intentionally, I'll allow $200 to $300 more lifestyle. The rest goes to wealth. Rule 3, measure wealth, not lifestyle. Stop asking, what can I buy now that I make more? Start asking, how much is my net worth growing this year? You'll never feel sustainably rich from cars, apartments, restaurants. You will start to feel rich when you can say, I have a year of expenses in cash. I have $50K, then $100K actually saved. I could walk away from this job and be okay for a while. That's the feeling your brain is really craving. Here's the bottom line. You will never feel rich from lifestyle. You'll just keep resetting the bar. The Hedonic Treadmill guarantees it. Lottery winners adapt. High earners adapt. You will adapt. But you can feel rich from options, from knowing you're not one missed paycheck away from panic. And that only comes from wealth, not income. You don't need to make $1 million to feel secure. You need to stop turning every raise into a lifestyle upgrade, give your brain time to adapt before spending, and tie your identity to your freedom, not your furniture. In the final episode of the Reality Check series, we're going to tackle the thing that traps entire households, the 2-income trap, why going from 1 income to 2 can secretly make you more fragile, not less. If this episode made you see your own raises differently, like the video, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what was the last upgrade that felt amazing for 2 weeks and now just feels normal.